My name's Simon Greaves, and in this video I'm going to walk you through the new, recently launched VMware Cloud Director Service. It's VMware's Cloud Director that's always been available on site, now been launched as a service for you to consume. Once you've gone through the steps outlined in my blog post, you will then have access to a Cloud Director environment. So I'm just going to quickly walk you through what you'll see, and both from a provider portal view and also from a tenant view. So first of all, what we've got here is this is the provider view. So I'm going to log in as a provider system administrator. And just like the ones that you have on site, you can do custom branding, customization of DNS, and can configure it the way that you would like in order for your users to consume. So what we've got here is a VMware Cloud Director Service that's sat in front of VMware Cloud on AWS. So what I'm consuming here from the back end is actually VMC on AWS. Logging in here as a system administrator, it's basically the same view that you would always see with Cloud Director on site. So you've still got the same building constructs of cloud resources, vSphere resources, organizations or VDCs, templates, provider VDCs. You can see the cells that are running, that are providing this service, the edge gateways, the external networks that provide the access to and from the public internet, the network pools that are provided by NSXT-backed Geneve networks, and the sizing policies that you normally see within VCD. You also have the services that are available and administration configuration, so you could go in, you can create your individual users, specify the role types, create your own global roles, and define how your users will be able to consume, which elements they'll be able to consume from the service. And the same as before, you've got the LDAP connectivity from a system level, you've also got that at an organization level, and the normal general email settings, etc. that you would normally see. So within organizations, I've been granted access to this environment that's been provided for the vExpert cloud provider team, which I'm lucky to be a member of, and each one of us has got access to a relevant individual organization. All of these are being backed by one environment, one AWS environment, which is actually in US West. This is the initial location for the rollout of this service, but as the service is rolled out, it will be rolled out to Frankfurt and then into APJ and pretty much wherever customers want the service to go. So what we'll do, we will have a quick look at the customization settings that are available. So we can see the cloud availability plugin, the CPOM extension, and the ability to customize the portal. These services, although they're presented, they're not fully ready yet, so you can't use vCloud availability exactly as prescribed at the moment. That will be coming very soon. And customization of CPOM as well. So if you wanted to add your own individual SDDCs as endpoints rather than vCenters as endpoints, that's still a work in progress, but that will be coming very soon. VCD, with the CDS service, is running on a Kubernetes cluster, which means that it's obviously it's simpler to deploy. It only takes about 3 minutes to build it when you actually request it, and they can obviously scale it on demand. It will allow you to deploy your workloads into any SDDC that's currently provided by VMware Cloud and AWS, and in the future that will be transitioned to other environments like VMware Cloud on Google, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at the organization. So I'm a member of Team 3, so we'll log into the Team 3 org. And then from within here, we've got that same organization type view. In fact, what I will do is I will log out, and we will actually log in instead, because that was a read-only account. I'll actually log in as my own account, which is an org administrator. So I'll go ahead and log in. And so you've got the same constructs that you would normally see with VMware Cloud Director on site. You've got these SDDC blocks, badges. I'm not quite sure what the correct terminology for them is. So you can go in there and then you can connect to your org VDC. So as you can see, there's no virtual machines in there at the moment, no VApps, but I could quite easily create something. So I could say, okay, let's create a VApp from the catalog. We've got some set up for us. I'm going to go ahead and create a Photon OS VM. We'll just call this Test VM 01, nice and inventive name. Choose the vSAN policy. As this is a provider VDC that's backed by VMware Cloud and AWS, the constructs are the same that you would see in AWS. So the storage policy that we saw there is the storage policy that's assigned to VMC on AWS, and it's just being passed through to vCloud Director for us to consume. Obviously, you can create your own policies, your own rules, your own FTT, whatever you want to do within vSAN in order to consume it, and then that's pretty much it. So just click finish and away it goes, and a virtual machine will get created. So what was actually happening here in the background, as I mentioned, is that a virtual machine is now being created called Test VM within VMC on AWS. It's being, it can be connected to a network pool, depending on whether I configure an org network in here, and then pass that through to the public internet in order to provide access out from within VMC out to the internet. So that's done. That's that VM created. By going to the details of it. At the moment, the network diagram is not connected to anything in particular. So what I need to do is create a org network. It's easily done. So just create a rooted network. I can create either a rooted or an isolated network from within here. We'll go ahead and give it an IP address. We'll connect it. This edge gateway is the T1 that's sitting within VMC on AWS. I will assign a static IP pool. 1.2.168.2.10. So this is the IP address that's going to be assigned to, that's going to be available for consumption from the VApp networks when we connect them to this org network. Go ahead and choose DNS. Click finish. So now we've got our organization network created, we've got our edge gateway configured, and we've got our VApp. The next step that we need is to make a connection between the VApp org network and the VApp. So in order to do that, we need to create a VApp network. We can choose to connect either a VApp network, which is one that's, you could do things such as isolation, or you could even do routing within that VApp, or you can choose to connect directly to the org network. So we will do that. We'll go ahead and choose to connect directly to our org network. We will use that org network to define things like our firewall policies and load balancer and other things like that. Let's go ahead and click add. Once that's been added, the next step that we need to do, the final step we need to do, is to connect our actual Photon OS to this new VApp network. The way we do that is we go into the VM, and we will, not that one, we'll find the setting. let's do it this way. Let's go to the VM, go to the details. No. Yeah, we'll go to details, click edit, there we go. And we will say we want to connect this network, and we're going to connect it to our routed network. We will tell it to use an IP address from the IP pool that we specified, and click save. We don't need to worry about typing an IP address in. One will automatically be assigned for us because we've told it to use the one from the pool. So we can see that's running through there at the bottom. Great, and there we go. So the VM has now got the IP address of 192.168.2.10. The final step would be to switch it on. So actions, power on. And as I said before, so this is the virtual machine that's being created by Cloud Director Service within VMC on AWS. I'd love to show you that view, but unfortunately I don't have access to that particular piece of the puzzle. However, if you were a service provider, your customers also wouldn't have access to that particular piece of the puzzle either. They would only come here and consume it in exactly the same way that they do with your service that you have offering in your data centers at the moment. Any way that you can go and ahead and log in, you could log in using PowerShell or Terraform or API. There's lots of different ways that you can connect in to this environment. So I'm going to go ahead and log in with PowerShell here. So if we connect to the CI server, which is the Cloud Director server. This is the actual name of the Cloud Director Service server, which is our VCD cell, for want of a better name. Go ahead and log in as myself. Provided to get the password right. Again. There we go. Helps if you get the password right. And so here we go. You use it in exactly the same way as you would with PowerShell on Cloud Director on site. So let's say get CI VApp. This will list out the VApps that we've got connected. And we could say select. Let's see what all the options are, shall we? Select the size GPU. There we go. We can see that the virtual machine's got 16 gig of RAM assigned, which is quite big for a Photon OS. But there you go. Anyway, I'll let you have a play with it, see what you think, and let me know if you found this video useful. And I will publish another if you do.